is the part 3 of the Glory of Hercules, Titan's Downfall. So the last part basically, as I mentioned before, there's a boss at the end of the cave here which is needed. Pretty much doing a favor for the Centaur who is being bullied. And it seems he has no courage. So what I did off screen is, again, as I mentioned earlier, I bought a dagger for my character. For some reason it's better than the flail, who knows. And that as well, I gained a level 2. Which is all you pretty needed. And this particular dungeon is actually quite short. I'll be trying getting all the chests that I can. There's a few I won't. I'll let you know too as well, there are the cursed items in the game, but I will not be... Actually, there are no cursed items in this particular dungeon. The only thing good for if you want to sell them, which is actually good for a lot of money. So, let's go ahead and get my character to the boss, and away we go! Oh, fuck you, game. So I probably should have mentioned this before. I'll be using save states during majority of my run because it's a lot quicker than going to town and just playing save. Now that was pretty much a cheap hit that stupid doggy did. And you notice too as well that he does 2 hits, so having the best gear and dodging, and that the dodging part is all pretty much a matter of luck. So I'm going to try just one more time, otherwise I'll be leveling my character up again. And you probably notice too that the boss actually takes quite a bit, despite him having 2 hits. So the tactics here, of course, is make sure that you have some medical herbs as well as healing spells. You have the remember too, the healing spell does 30 hit points. And you notice too, well, that Cerebus actually does way more than 30 hit points, so it's pretty much a matter of luck of when to hit and when to cure. That's all there is to this particular boss, because there's nothing much that the character can do. You can't debuff him, you can't increase your defense, can't increase your agility. But luckily he does not have much hit points. I believe he has about between 200 and 300. And speaking of which, he is dead. And you don't really get much experience for him. Now, normally, actually I can't warp up because I got no warp spell. So once you're done with the boss, if you're playing this emulator, of course, you better save. Because, well, actually these enemies here are a bit easier right now because I'm at level 9, but you can't be too careful because enemies do critical hits on you. And I learned a spell, which is probably the warp spell, I think. Yeah, the no one. So that is the warp. So you cannot use that particular spell out. Actually, in the dungeon, there is actually a separate spell to cast outside if we're talking about Dragon Warrior or Dragon Quest. So, yeah, so you still got a lot of enemies to do. They don't take too much now, and because they level up, they'll take even less, and I should dodge a little more. I still can't believe they're still taking the 2 hit points off me because I'm so high level. I'm so beneath them. There's 3 right there. So let's go ahead there and wait until we get to town and speak to my buddy, the Centurion. Or Centaur. Which one comes first? With that being said, I'm now into the village, and it's probably best you do it at nighttime because you don't got the stupid kids teasing him. And you tell him you beat Cerebus. Yeah, man, you're brave, but what? There is no treasure. Oh, sorry, I was testing your courage. Everywhere I go, people make fun of me. I need to be braver. I bet the gods can help me be more like that. Please take me along with you. Well, considering he'd be your second guy, it's probably best to say yes. Thanks a lot. Oh, one more thing. Could you please give me a brave new name? I could probably think of one couple funny names, but I'll just call him Senta. No need to go fancy on this. I don't know if that's even the actual name. Call someone Senta. Yes, it's actually a beefy name. Yes, beefy. We'll eat some pork loins later. So you got your second person in your party. Now, I know I keep mentioning through the parts. If you ever played Dragon Quest II, if you ever played the Prince, the second one that you get from the cave, he's pretty much like that. He's an okay fairy, he's pretty much okay in all stats, but he's going to be your healer. At the most part, anyway. He does learn quite a bit of spells, and the most useful spell, well, at this point, is the antidote, the cure poison, because you can be poisoned quite a lot in this game here. And since I have him, I do not need to buy those antidotes from the item shop. Now, there's probably going to be some cases there that I mentioned about save states and load states. I'm probably going to be using quite a few of them during the course of my run because you do not want your Centaur to be stoned. And yes, you can be petrified. And he will have the spell, and since he's the only one he can actually cure it without using 80 items, and not only that, you only have limited space. And so any equipped items you have, that actually will take up space in your character, so take note of that. Now, once you get the Centaur, or Centaur, I should say, he's actually at level 1, and he only has very minimal items to equip. I believe he has the wooden bow, some really flimsy items, so it's probably best that you give him some better items before you go to the next continent. And yes, I did say continent, because that will open up, and the enemies are actually a little bit more tougher, but they do give some good XP. But I'll have to level up my Centaur because he'll be killed. So you probably saw that little guy that says, but then he will become a vital person to talk to later on. So I'll have to buy the hide for the Centaur. I believe I might have to I will buy the hide helmet for the Centaur. But you cannot equip the cane, flare, or dagger. But anyway, the wooden bow is much better anyway. And also, speaking of weapons, your weapons actually can break from certain enemies. Just like the first game, they have a certain percentage. So every time you use an item, your percentage of the weapon will go down, or the armor. In this game here, when the enemies break your weapon, that is it. The item's gone. So you don't want that. It's probably best just to save time, just to load state, instead of continuing, because it'll be a waste of time to pretty much demolish the weapon from the enemies and go back to town. Well, of course, if you got a rare weapon, well, that I should say that item's gone forever, especially if it's a really nice weapon, or armor, I should say. But luckily, there's only a few enemies in the game that can actually do that. But at the same time, you probably want to avoid the enemies or try to get first shot in before they act. So I'm going to try out here and see if I think here. Well, I do got my warp spell. Okay, so Celine. What I have to do next, I have to go on the right-hand side of the continent. There'll be a port, and the man says, "Okay, you can go on the right-hand side, and you'll be traveling across the right-hand side into a new continent." Whereas you begin a ship later, but that won't be for a while. So that's it, guys. That's much this part. So this particular part 3 is getting the Centaur, let them up, because you need his healing, and having a second player that hits, well, that's a big plus in my book here. So here's the guy. You'll say the ship's here, all aboard, woo woo woo, and we'll see what does she say. Going to Lord. So it's nothing much, and don't believe anything down there. Yeah, so that particular pattern around the trees there, trees, if that is near the water, you can actually get off from the ship. I thought there might actually be something there. So that's it. That's it for part 3 here. So the next part, we'll be going to new lands, and also I'll be living my Centaur much. And we'll see if we get some new equipment. So this is Arena 24, and I'll see you in part 4 of this amazing game. Thanks for watching.